Guys, and welcome to Affinity for Homarids podcast, the podcast where we talk about whatever we want. Unfortunately, this week, two people could not join us, so we have a very small cast. It is me, your host, Aiden O'Connor, as well as...
Jim Shoop.
And that's it. That's all we got.
Because Nolan and Connor are jerkheads.
They're poops.
They're buttheads.
They're giant poop heads. So anyway... this episode we're going to do some spoiler talk, a little bit of standard talk, specifically over the last GP and the SCG Open, and then we're going to make predictions for this week. We did miss last week's podcast. It just didn't, nobody had any, the time frames just didn't work out properly, so that never happened. But we're going to make up for it this week, hopefully. So let's kick it off. Spoiler talk. Gate Crash spoilers, there are 5 cards that are spoiled. So, let's just start with the monocolored card, Enter the Infinite.
Oh, this card looks delicious. It is a 7. It is a 12 converted mana cost sorcery. Costs 8 colorless, 4 blue. Has the text, draw cards equal to the number of cards in your library, then put a card from your hand on top of your library. You have no maximum hand size until your next turn. And the flavor text, which is some of my favorite flavor text, officially is, don't just have an idea, have all of them. Niv Mizzet.
That flavor text is fantastic. I love it.
On a side note, there's another card who has really good flavor text. Is Urza's Guilt. It's a sorcery from Plane Shift, which is deep in Yawgmoth's realm. Urza stopped dead in his tracks and rubbed his soot-filled eyes. Mishra? That just gives me goosebumps. But anyway, That's beside the point. Let's get back to this delicious sorcery.
First off, before we go over the implications in whatever format it's going to end up seeing play in, all of them. So, first off, I want to say, I foresee many, many, many alters to this card with the all of the things meme. I can see that happening a lot. Because why not? With that flavor text, it's just begging for it.
Yeah, just draw all of the cards.
All of the things. So
have all of the ideas.
Yeah. So this card is awesome because, first of all, there was another stupid expensive card that, happened fairly recently, core set specifically, called Omniscience. And Omniscience doesn't care how much a spell costs, it just casts it. And, not to mention, I feel like drawing your entire deck and then being able to cast it, regardless of what your deck is trying to do, that basically means you've won, right?
Yeah. Because you have all of the ideas for the bargain price of 22 mana.
Free. Well, free. Because you cast Omniscience and then Enter the Infinite is free, as well as every other card in your deck.
Oh, yes.
So, yeah. First of all, this is going to see play in Legacy, easily. Show and tell.
Omniscience, Enter the Infinite. Card.
They already play Petals of Insight, and this could just be a much better Petals of Insight. The Petals combo is cool, because it's infinite. You just keep cycling your deck until you've built up enough Storm and then Grape Shot. But Into the Infinite's how about I just draw my deck and then cast everything?
Yeah.
And then Modern, I think this will see play, believe it or not. I think it'll actually be the thing that makes the Omniscience deck. As far as I know, there's actually not a way to cheat Omniscience into play. I could be wrong, though.
I don't think so. Could be a way to cheat an enchantment onto the board, but I don't think so.
I'll search for it as we discuss more. So
might just be a Cynic Omniscience ramp or whatever.
Yeah. It could fit in as a one-of in the Scapeshift deck. I don't know. There's something there, I think. But Standard is obviously going to see play because there is actually a Bant Omniscience deck. It's not very good, but it's fun.
That's all that matters.
Exactly. And this card just adds to the fun. So
you just draw your entire deck and play all the Angel Serenities, all of the Thragtusks, all of the cards in general.
Yeah, pretty much. Found it, Braids.
Braids?
Braids.
What? Oh, Conjurer Adept, yeah.
Yes.
Artifact creature or land.
Oh, wait, what? I thought it was... Oh, never mind then.
You lose.
Ooh. Oh, well, I thought it was the show and tell. Never mind. Anyway, moving on. Our next spoiler is actually pretty cool, too. I like it, and I'll explain why, because Shoop doesn't agree with me. But it's Hellkite Tyrant. Shoop, if you want to read it for them.
Hellkite Tyrant is a 6 converted mana cost creature with the type Dragon. It costs 4 colorless mana, 2 red mana. It is a 6/5 flying trample with the text, whenever Hellkite Tyrant deals combat damage to a player, gain control of all artifacts that player controls. At the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 20 or more artifacts, you win the game.
Yeah.
I think it's poo. It might be a win con in eggs or maybe Affinity.
Oh, no.
I think
You're thinking too little. You're thinking too little.
I probably am, but I just think it's a 6 mana, 6/5 flying trample with
which is good.
Text.
That alone is good. First off, in standard, I'm saying standard.
In standard, yeah, it's a 6 mana, 6/5 flying trample is good, but like
also, when he deals combat damage, you don't have to get the 20 artifacts thing. That's just fun. But if you steal all of their artifacts, you can steal some pretty spicy stuff. In standard, unfortunately, there's not a lot, but I feel like this card can definitely...
I guess.
Yeah, that's not exciting. It can steal Chromatic Lantern. That's fun. Also, if they do print more artifacts in this set, this guy could be an all-star in the Trading Post deck. That could possibly come back if there's enough artifacts.
Yeah. Post.
Although I might be thinking like I might be just I don't know. But I do like the card. It's cool. Obviously not going to see play in Legacy. It's not even close. Also, fun thing, EDH is insane. It's absolutely nuts in EDH because not only does it like steal all the artifacts, there's a card called Mycosynth Lattice that makes all things artifacts.
I overlooked Mycosynth Lattice.
Yeah.
Lattice.
Lattice.
I was thinking Lattice.
Lattice. Mycosynth Lattice. So the reason that's cool is because every single turn you get to bash somebody, you get to 6 somebody, and then steal their board.
Steal all your things. Like, once you swing in, and, like, they can't block it, they're just like, I take your board, and then your opponent's just like, concede. Because they have no way of dealing with it.
I'm gonna scoop right there.
Yeah, like, I'm done.
I'm done.
I still think, like, sure, it's an interesting card, and it has very hilarious things that can happen, but there's a very acute range of when it's actually good in the sense of most of it, which is why I don't like it. But yes, in standard, it's a decent creature in and of itself because it's a 6 mana, 6/5 flying trample. But I feel like in places where you can do it, if you want to play a 6 mana flying trampler, you could play like Rakdos
Chaos
the
Imps.
Defiler.
You could play Chaos Imps, which I think should actually see standard play.
Probably.
Because it is a very good card. But that's beside the point. Yeah, I agree. It's a very narrow range for it to be good. But when it is good, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
And Yeah, I mean, it's fun. At the very least, it's fun. Every set has to have a dragon. This dragon's cool. It's
Did
unique.
M13 have a dragon?
Every set has a dragon.
Did M13 have a dragon?
M13. Trying to think. Yes, it did. It was Thundermaw Hellkite.
All right, Thundermaw.
Every set has a dragon, dude. Like,
what
maybe not
Eldrazi,
literally.
What Zendikar, did they have dragons?
I believe so. Anyway.
That's beside the point. Next, spoilers.
Next one, Aurelia the War Leader. I want to take this one, because this one's sweet.
Oh, yeah.
It's a 6 mana, costing the standard Guild Leader price of double of each of its colors, red and white, and then 2 colorless. So it's 2 red, red, white, white. Legendary creature Angel. It is a 3/4 with flying, vigilance, haste, and when it attacks for the first time each turn, you get to untap all creatures you control and take an extra combat phase after that one. So, that's insane.
That opens up for some really hilarious, like, red white aggro shenanigans with Aurelia as the top end.
Exactly.
Just like wait for a while, like if your board stall, it's just like Aurelia swing.
Yeah. The thing is, it's like the first 6-drop that actually fits in an aggro deck. Like, ever. 6-drops don't belong in aggro decks, this one does. Because this one just makes your dudes insane.
The instant it hits the board, you pretty much just win.
Yeah.
Just 2 combat phases tends to do that.
Yeah. And then, obviously, this means a good thing, because it is the guild leader, and this kind of hints at the fact that Boros is still going to be very combat-centric, which I am a huge fan of.
Oh, yeah.
So, there's that. I mean, there's not too much to talk about it. There's not a lot of intricacies with it. It's pretty straightforward, actually.
Yeah. Just swing in,
is
swing in again, whatever.
Yep.
The next one, want to start with the next one?
Yeah, let's go to the next one. Go for it.
Alrighty. This one is very tasty. We have Borborygmos Enraged. 8 converted mana cost. Legendary creature Cyclops. Costing 4 colorless, 2 red, 2 green, a 7/6 trampler with whenever Borborygmos Enraged deals combat damage to a player, reveal the top 3 cards of your library. Put all land cards revealed this way into your hand, and the rest into your graveyard, and then you may discard a land card to have Borborygmos Enraged lightning bolt a creature or player.
Yeah, so I think this guy's awesome because he's a Seismic Assault on an awesome body that draws cards for Seismic Assault. And this can give us a hint at the Gruul keyword, even though it doesn't tell us what it is. I feel like it's going to involve lands either in hand or graveyard.
Yeah, and I feel like his name hints at something. It means like the Gruul are getting a lot more pissed about their situation.
That's the thing. From what I understand, all of the guilds have, for the most part, absolved. Obviously, like, we're seeing the very small sects of them that are still together. And I believe Gruul, because they were brought together through just straight violence and sheer violence and nothing else, that they're still together.
Well,
and they're upset.
It wasn't really sheer violence and nothing else. I read into the background. It's like a lot of them are angry about the situation they're in, and yes, their outlet for their anger is kill, smash, destroy,
right. Pillage, rape.
Yeah, but like the story behind it is like back in the day, the Gruul were a very noble guild. They were supposed to keep track of the wild places of Ravnica.
Oh, right,
But the Selesnya then sort of took the control of nature from them,
mm-hmm.
and then when they had less and less things to do, the Azorius wrote them out of law, which meant the Boros didn't have to protect them, which meant the Orzhov could enslave them.
Got it.
So they've been screwed over for a
they're
very
real
long
mad.
time. They're so like They were mad in Bloodthirsty in Ravnica.
Mm-hmm.
They're getting real mad now.
Yeah. So, yeah, I like this a lot, though. I actually think it is going to be something to do with lands in Graveyard, the mechanic. Like, it might be something like, it might be Bloodthirst-ish in terms of, like, plus encounters based on lands in Graveyard, something like that. I don't know. Just spitballing
when you
here.
cast this card, reveal a number of lands in your hand. It comes in the battlefield.
Oh, yeah. Discard any number of land cards in hand. Comes into play with X plus encounters, or X is the number of lands you discarded. That'd be cool.
Yeah, it wouldn't be like this creature gets X plus encounters with the number of lands in your graveyard. That'd be kind of broken.
It'd be right.
It'd be like
otherwise
Mulch
you could just
Track Distance and Grizzly Salvage in order to get all your lands into the deck while still having something to cast spells, and just have a bunch of like gigantic dudes.
Right.
And
I think that'd be cool. The thing that we came up with where you discard lands, I think that'd be a cool dynamic, because if there was a 1-drop, like a 1-mana 0/0 or something with that effect, that would be very interesting, because you'd be like, alright, do I go all in, like discard 5 lands and only have 1 in play to get this guy huge on turn 1? Or do I kind of like...
It's a 0/0 trample with that ability, yeah.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
It might be like their 1 hybrid mana card.
Ooh. Dude, I think we nailed it. No joke, if that gets spoiled, like, I will run from normal all the way here and give you the biggest high five. Like,
you heard it here first, folks.
I will run 130 miles and give you an enormous high five.
There we go.
I'll do it.
Then I will bring you into my house and let you lay down for a day and a half after running all that
for a day.
Yeah,
after running for a day and a half. Anyway,
let you lay down for a while and be like, dude, just chill.
Yeah. So I think the most exciting part of the spoilers is this final card that we're going to talk about. I am taking this one. I have to. Domri Raid. It is a planeswalker that costs 1 red-green, so 3-mana walker, starts with 3 loyalty, which is already good. His +1 is look at the top card of your library. If it's a creature card, you may reveal it and put it into your hand. His -2 is target creature you control fights another target creature, so that's pretty sweet. And then his -7, which is his ultimate, you get an emblem with creatures you control have double strike, trample, hexproof, and haste. Alright.
It's actually a Chroma's Memorial, which is amazing.
Minus the vigilance flying, plus the hexproof, plus the double strike. It's not quite a Chroma's Memorial. It's different.
It's different, but the same in a way.
Right. It still makes your dudes unmatchable in combat.
Yeah.
Anyway, the reason I think this guy's insane. Turn 1, go whatever the Gruul land is. I'm blanking. The Gruul duel. Stomping Grounds. Yeah. Turn 1, Stomping Grounds, untapped Arbor Elf. Turn 2, whatever land you feel like. Tap. Put all the lands 3-mana Domri Raid +1. Draw a creature. That's turn 2 on the play. Your opponent has land. You've got a walker on 4. How is that fair?
Exactly. Like, it's in ramp colors. It's in aggressive colors, which means you'll get this out on turn 2, and you will have the bodies to protect it.
Right.
So,
and the best part about him is he's a creature planeswalker. He's the first creature planeswalker we've had. Like, who is it? Who is the walker that was an aggro planeswalker that I really like? Ajani. That Ajani. The 3/1. The 3-mana Ajani is like the first aggro planeswalker. This is the first just creature planeswalker.
What do you mean by creature planeswalker?
You cannot play him without creatures, first off. Secondly, when you do play him with creatures, he's insane.
Okay,
so
yeah.
you're going to have a deck of something like 22 lands, 4 of this dude, and then all creatures.
And
That's
some random spells, maybe, like ramp or whatever.
Probably not. To be fair, like, depending on what Gruul actually is, probably not. You probably won't even have that. In fact,
I have a feeling that Gruul might be amazing.
Yeah. And if we do predict that mechanic properly, by the way, with the discard lands, you probably want to play something like 26, 27 lands.
If you discarding land, yeah.
Yeah, and then you just play a dude, discard a bunch of lands. Anyway.
Oh, you know what the keyword might be? Like enraged or rage or something like that?
Yeah, it could be. That's definitely a possibility.
Or like blood rage.
I like that.
Bloodthirst.
Yeah. Let's try to make a prediction on the Boros keyword, actually. Because we do have the Boros leader here, too.
From what she is, like, it's an attack trigger, like, it's a combat trigger. But the feeling like the Boros trigger will be sort of like a combat trigger, like, you attack and something happens, like, your creatures get something depending on, like, the number of creatures you have.
Yeah, I'm thinking a battle cry sort of thing.
Yeah, like a battle cry or anthem sort of deal.
Right, because battle cry, first off, like actual battle cry with extra combats is insane.
Oh yeah,
because you just stack them from one combat to the next.
Which actually might make sense because like they wouldn't want to put battle cry in with like the Boros keyword.
Right.
That like it would stack and be absolutely devastating.
Yeah, that's possible. Or maybe the Boros keyword is just a different way of being battle cry.
Or it might just be battle cry.
Yeah. Like it could be like I was thinking, whatever let's say the keyword is poop butts. So when a creature with poop butts attacks, it gets +1/+0 for each other creature with poop butts that is attacking.
That actually makes a lot of sense. So instead of combat, so it wouldn't like stack with Aurelia. Just to make
make it end. No. It should end at end of turn because normally you want the guild leader to synergize super well with the mechanic.
Oh
yeah. The only exception really is I mean I guess Niv Mizzet didn't really synergize. Asperia kind of synergized-ish. Not really. You wanted your dude
for hell of much. Like it's just like making
still
sure.
Actually did. I mean, yeah, I guess you could argue that you could make an argument for him actually working with it. Obviously, Tristani had the keyword.
Yeah.
And that's all of them? Yeah, that's all of them. No, wait. Who am I missing?
Tristani, Rakdos, Asperia,
Niv Mizzet, and what was the last guild? Gerard, that's right. It was a bad mechanic. Gerard's okay. I guess he doesn't really well, he does synergize with Scavenge. Whatever. I think it should just be until end of turn, though.
Yeah.
And the reason that I'm saying it like the way that I said it is because Battlecry would be stupid broken, because you just have a deck with nothing but Battlecry creatures. And then every single dude would just be massive. But if they print a select number of dudes with poop butts, as I'm calling it, then it can't really get out of hand. So, like, if they printed, say, I don't know, 10 creatures with it, and, like, 2 of them just aren't playable, then you've got 8 creatures to pick from that are...
But if you run 4 of each, that's still more than enough for a deck.
Right, which I think is fine. Because I feel like they could make it so they're not as... There's more signal pests than there are goblin... war leader, whatever. War driver. You know what I mean? Like more dudes,
more tiny ones that you don't want a lot of, and less like bears that
more tiny ones that can't stand on their own than big ones that can.
Than like the bear with Battlecry and War Driver.
Right. So I think that would be pretty fair.
Yeah.
So I think we've pretty much exhausted the spoilers. That's about it.
Well,
by
and
the
then,
way.
of course, you got the cycle of Guildgates and the cycle of Shocklands.
Right, but everybody knew that the second that a single Shockland and a single Guildgate got spoiled for Return to Ravnica.
Yes, but it needs to be mentioned because there might be someone that's like, oh, they didn't mention that, so maybe they're not in there.
That's fair. I'll give you that. So, let's talk about the GP that happened last week, which by the time this comes out, it'll be, I guess, 2 weeks ago.
Yar.
Or the week before the weekend, whatever. So, GP Charleston was a standard GP. I guess we can go over the decks real fast so people know what we're talking about. Should we do top 16?
It has top 16 deck lists.
Right.
So, Jerry Thompson, who did not make it to the semifinals of the top 8, he was playing, I'm assuming, blue-white flash, looks like.
Yeah, blue-white flash with an Angel of Serenity, and then going old school with the 2 Moorland Haunts. And 2 Rewinds. That's pretty cool.
Rewind's seen a lot of play, surprisingly enough.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's really good. I think the reason that people didn't, they underestimated it is because they were like, oh, but 4 mana counters suck. We have Mana Leak. And now it's like, well,
we don't have Mana Leak, but if it resolves, it's a free counter spell.
Right. So, yeah, I like Rewind a lot. And then 2 Runechanter's Pikes, of course, because that card's awesome.
Yeah, because it's blue.
And I called it forever ago when that card came out. I said one day it would see very strong standard play.
Yeah. Of course, it wouldn't in the Scars Innistrad one because of
it did
Swords. Well, it didn't see as much because of Swords and Batter Skulls.
That's fair. But it did see play in the Delver deck near the end.
Yeah.
So, there you go. Anyway, Reed Duke also made it to top 8. I don't know where you're seeing I don't know. I didn't watch the GP, so I don't know how far he made it.
There's a bracket near the top.
Okay, got
Reed
it.
Duke also did not make semifinals.
Okay. He was running Bant Control.
With only Threat-Dust and a single Resto Angel.
Yep. And so those are his win cons, and that's it. And he has the cutesy little Singleton Ground Seal and Singleton Pithing Needle. And then
it's a Sam Black style band because that's what he did.
Yeah, it's pretty much straight Sam Black.
Yeah, he actually played in the GP. I think he was 9th. I want to say.
Oh yeah, I heard about that. He just barely didn't make top 8.
Yeah, I think his breakers were bad, but we'll get to him in a little bit.
Right.
We got the winner of GP Charleston, Mr. John Bolding, who was running. I feel like I called it a couple weeks ago when I said, aggro is gonna just punch its way through.
Yeah. This one's interesting.
Mr. John Bolding.
It's zombies, obviously, but this one's more interesting because it's running 14 non-zombie creatures.
That's what they call it, black-red aggro, not black-red zombies.
Right. Yeah, no, but I'm just saying, it's very interesting. It still has the classic 3 zombies, Gravecrawler, Ghoul, and Messenger, but then they toss in Thundermaw, Hellkite, Hellrider, Knight of Infamy, and then obviously Falconwrath, Aristocrat.
But Knight of Infamy is really good in and of itself because it synergizes with Falconwrath, Aristocrat. If you get Raft and you have Knight of Infamy, Falconwrath.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Pardon me.
Bless you.
Thank you very much. Then you can sack both Knight of Infamies and make your Falconwrath Aristocrat a 6/3.
Right. Not to mention, I like this deck a lot because Hellrider is insane. just throw it out there.
Big Daddy Dragon. Hello.
Yeah. Fun fact, 16 out of the 26 creatures, only 16 do not have haste. So roughly half don't have haste.
Yeah, because Hellrider, Thundermaw, and Falconwrath Aristocrat have haste.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's awesome because Hellrider's awesome. Anyway.
Yeah, Hellrider's really good. I overlooked it when I was thinking about building Red Deck Winds and the Scars Innistrad.
Yeah, and also fun little thing for the people who don't know about it. Curiosity plus Hellrider equals many cards drawn. because Curiosity does not care if it's combat damage. It's just any sort of damage. So, moving on, we have Brian Eason. I don't know how far he got because
Brian Eason. He was in second place.
Second place, got it. He was playing a very interesting junk deck.
Junk tokens.
Junk token walkers. I don't know. It's very cool. I like this deck.
It's junk tokens. He's got 4 intangible virtues, 4 lingering souls, 3 midnight hauntings, a miser's collective blessing,
3 Celestia charms, and then he's got the suite of token walkers, being 1 Garruk Relentless, 2 Garruk Primal Hunter, and 2 Sorin Lord of Innistrad.
I like this deck a lot.
Yeah, it's cool. And he is playing both Township and Vault of the Archangel. Good on him.
Miser's Vault, but 3 Gavany.
Yeah. I like this deck a lot.
Yeah.
Wow.
You might consider trying to convert your black-white tokens into junk.
Yeah. That costs money.
Yes.
I don't have money.
I mean, like, the absolute tokens, Arbor Elves, Borderland Rangers won't be that hard. You already have, like, the tangible virtues.
Thragtusk exists.
Yeah, Thragtusk, I know. This means that you gotta pool your resources with the guys and try to get some Thragtusks.
It's not gonna happen because Connor's a poo, and he plays paper with some stupid people at his college. Nolan and I don't exactly have a lot of money, and then Sam can't get his internet to work, so...
Oh, Sam.
Yeah, he doesn't... It's... whatever. He actually hates it, where he's going. And also, so does Nolan, and Nolan is coming to ISU next year.
I'm still thinking about a college to transfer to. I might either go to IIT or ISU, I'm not sure.
ISU's pretty awesome. Anyway, tangent. So, yeah, junk tokens, cool. Next we have Morgan Chang.
Quickly. In the sideboard of this deck,
yes,
Intrepid Hero.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome. I think it's an interesting sideboard plan. Like
repeatable killing of Thragtusk, Angel,
Serenity.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
it does a lot.
Personally, I'm surprised it took this long for people to realize, oh, it's a 3-mana repeatable kill spell.
Yeah, I mean, the reason that it kind of sucks is because it's a 1/1, and I was thinking about it against Frights, but Elesh Norn kills it before he can kill Elesh Norn. So
that's not in Frights now. So
I know, that's why he's awesome. Also kills Craterhoof before his ability goes off, meaning that's 1 less creature to worry about. So, anyway.
But, like, he enters the battlefield, and then his turn goes on the stack, and you can kill the Craterhoof, but his ability still resolves.
Right, but that's also 1 less creature for the +X/+X, as well as 1 less creature getting the +X/+X.
Yeah.
It's good, trust me.
It is good, but, like, my thing is, like, it's still a bad response to it.
I think it's actually very
still
good.
Getting really beefy and tramply and stuff.
In pre-rotation Frights, when I was playing Craterhoof with my Lingering Souls and whatnot, some dude Doombladed my Craterhoof before his ability resolved. That was the difference between him living and dying, and he actually had plenty of life left that turn. It's a big deal, dude. You're knocking off 6 power plus 2 times the number of creatures you have.
Okay, I suppose there's a lot. Like,
that's a lot.
If you're at critical mass and you plop him down, it won't make much difference if you have an Intrepid Hero.
Right, but if the person is letting you get to critical mass, like, you're gonna win anyway.
True. But
so anyway,
we're just slinging mud at this point.
Yeah, Morgan Chang playing quite an interesting deck. It's a Frights deck.
Also, unfortunately, he did not make it to the semifinals.
That's unfortunate. But he's only playing 1 Craterhoof. Okay, I love this deck. He's playing an Increasing Confusion in the sideboard. For those who don't know, he is playing a 4-color Frights deck with no red.
Why is it called Frights? I thought Frights was because it was 4-color. Like, why is Frights called Frights?
French Rights. Frites. French frites.
Oh.
Yeah. The guys who made it was the French team, Ref Levy, I think.
Oh.
And, yeah.
It all makes
it's
I,
called...
I thought it was because it was 4-color rights. Right.
No. It's French rights. Yeah. And it's
Oh.
catchy because that's what they call fries
Yes.
in France.
Pommes frites.
Frites.
Pommes frites.
Um,
Now I feel stupid, but whatever.
it's okay. This deck is cool. It has Deathrite Shamans. It's got Evil Twin in the sideboard. Oh my god.
Evil Twin. What is this card?
And a Sigarda. Okay, this deck is cool. I like this deck. Not much to say about it. It's got 3 Angel of Serenity, 4 Thrags, and a Crater Hoof.
The standard is just so saturated with Thragtusk.
I know, it's really not.
Why did Wizards think it would be okay to print that card? It's a 5-mana 5/3.
Okay. I'll tell you why they thought it was okay. Because they printed Obstinate Baloth, and that guy was not overly, he did not murder the metagame. He was very good because Jund existed in that standard, but Obstinate Baloth was a 4-mana 4/4. When he enters the battlefield, you gain 4, and if he is discarded from your hand, you get to put him into play instead. Thragtusk doesn't even seem as good as that, but Thragtusk is seeing a lot more play because just the way that the metagame has stagnated.
Well, I feel like the reason I have a problem with it is because it's 5 mana for a 5 power that gains you 5, and then when it decides to leave, if only for a short time, you get a 3/3.
Right. And I agree. If that ability said when it died instead of when it left the battlefield, Thragtusk would not be a problem.
Yeah.
But because it says when it leaves the battlefield, flicker effects are really good with it. No kill spell is good against it. So, yeah.
Except
it's
for
just...
Sever, but
No, Sever's not even that good, though. Because they still get the 3/3 because it left the battlefield.
Yeah, 3/3, it leaves the battlefield.
That's what I'm saying. That's the problem with it. If it just said when it died, then it would actually be a fair card, but...
That's my main problem with it. It's just the thing is so good, and that it's just it's a bad card in that it was poorly made, and they decided to print it. That's why I think it's a bad card.
I agree. So yeah, that's Frights though.
Yeah.
Next we have Pat Cox with
Pat Cox. Also did not make it into semis.
That's unfortunate.
Playing Talrand Flash.
Yeah. It's playing a blue-white deck, flash deck that plays Talrands. It's actually almost the same list as who was it, Jerry T, except it plays Talrand.
Talrand's really good.
It's got the same suite of everything: 2 Rewind, 2 Pike, 2 Sphinx's Revelation.
But the Talrand just gives it a whole other power level because you have Talrand on the field and you just play all your spells. You're just I get a bunch of 2/2s, man. You
know what is awesome? Having a Talrand on the table, your opponent goes to cast a spell, you rewind it, get a 2/2. Then he goes to his end step, and you Sphinx's Revelation, X equals 4. Draw 4 cards, gain 4 life, make another 2/2.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Crazy, man. Talrand enables a whole bunch of crazy stuff.
Yeah. But this deck is cool. In the sideboard, he has 2 more Talrands. I feel like he should have had more main, but that might just be me.
Yeah. We have Mr. Matt Keane, who also is bringing to the GP his version of Black-Red Aggro.
Mm-hmm. This one's cool. I like the bump in the night.
Seems interesting. Yeah, it's more. It seems like a little more burn. Has a little more burn than creatures than the winning deck did.
Yeah, I like it. I like this list a lot. I also very much like the 4 Appetite for Brains. That I think that card should have been seeing play for a while now, but
especially against frickin' Bant.
Specifically Thragtusk. It eats a Thragtusk for free.
Yeah.
And if you play 4 of them, and you see all 4, and they see all 4 of their Thrags, you win.
I eat all your Thragtusks. Delicious Thrag brains.
Exactly. But yeah, this deck is cool. I don't know.
Typical
Not much to say
Rakdos
about it.
sideboard plan, Rakdos Charm for the Frights matchup.
Frights or tokens. It's pretty good against tokens.
Matt Keen made it in the semis, but he lost in the mirror against Mr. John Bolding.
Yeah. I think this deck is missing one card. Rakdos himself in the sideboard. There should probably be two.
Maybe. I just feel like he obviously he's a really good 4-drop. He's a 4/4/6/6 trample.
Right.
But
well, the reason I'm saying sideboard, right? You don't want to main because there's no guarantee you'll get him onto the battlefield. But against the Bant deck, they're slow enough that you can definitely get a hit in when you have 4 mana. Right? Like it's not that difficult at all. The Bant deck has Mana Dorks and Borderland Ranger before their 5-drop.
And he's got a big enough butt where he doesn't have the same problems as Falcon Wrath Aristocrat.
Right. He can actually block Falcon Wrath Aristocrat for days.
All day, every day.
In the mirror. Right. But like my point is, you should be able to consistently cast him if you're boarding him in correctly. And as long as he's on the table, he's a very good card.
Normally for a longest time I thought, Rakdos will see play once Aristocrat cycles out, but that actually makes sense. He's a very good sideboard plan against the control decks that take a while to set up.
Exactly. Like even if they do,
especially on the play where you're just like, okay, turn 4, swing in, land.
Like this is what you do. You go like turn 1. Diagraph Ghoul, right? Or like Cackler or something. Turn 2, play like Knight of Infamy. Turn 3, Geralf's Messenger. Turn 4, you're gonna have dealt them damage, right?
Oh yeah.
So
turn 4, you get Rakdos, and then turn 5, you swing and then cast your hand because they cost less than.
Well, that's the only awkward thing. Is in this deck, the only thing that it cheapens is Knight of Infamy by 1 mana and Aristocrat by 2. But that's fine. The main point about Rakdos is not even that effect. Like, that text box is nice, but a 6/6 flying trampler, he has trample, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 6/6 flying trampler for 4 mana.
He's a biggin.
That's pretty insane.
Yeah.
So
on turn 4.
And even if they follow up and on the next turn they play Thragtusk, you're still going to hit them for 6.
They have Thragtusk.
They're going to negative.
Thragtusk, go. I'll be like, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna let Rakdos have a steak.
I actually disagree with that. I think you just race because you can race. Rakdos just lets you deal more damage than they gain life. Like it's really barely more. Like if they have 2 Thragtusks, you lose the race, but you easily beat 1 Thragtusk.
True.
So anyway, moving on. The final top 8 deck list. Peter Kelly playing a very cool green-white humans deck.
Humans.
I like it. I like it a lot.
I like how it's getting. I like how it has at least one lord, at least temporary lord, and then he gets wolves. I guess.
Doesn't Mayor flip to? Oh no, he doesn't. Never mind. Yeah.
Mayor flips to the Hellpath Alpha, who at the end step can get wolves.
The thing that I like a lot about this deck is Fencing Ace plus Sublime Archangel. I like that a lot.
Fencing Ace, Sublime Archangel, Rancor.
Exactly. That's insane. And then you still have Knight of Glory.
You die.
Yeah, you still have Knight of Glory. You've got Silverblade Paladin to make a new Fencing Ace with like a champion or something.
What they need to do for altered art for Fencing Ace, Inigo Montoya.
Oh my god, yes, I agree so much.
Inigo Montoya, you killed my father, prepare to die.
Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You've killed my father, prepare to die.
Oh, man.
I saw that recently again. It was so
it was on AMC that day for like a bunch of times.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, and I was like,
oh, that's awesome.
I kept catching it like near the end, and I'm like, I want to watch this all the way because I never have. I know it's an amazing movie.
So good.
Anyway, back to card games.
Inigo Montoya.
Inigo Montoya. I'm calling him Inigo Montoya from now on.
Yeah, I'm going to as well. I will never see anything else. Actually, let's just not do the top 16, even though there are such stars as Brian Kibler, Owen Turtenwald, Ali Antrazi.
Did you see Ali Antrazi's deck?
I'm going to look at it, but we're going to leave it up to the listeners. And
I'm going to talk about it because it's hilarious.
Okay.
5-color, I'm assuming control, with a suite of Miser's Planeswalkers. You got Garruk, Primal Hunter, Tameo, Vraska, Big Daddy Nico Bolas.
I'm sorry. I don't know if either you missed it or you're slow rolling our audience. Door to nothingness.
I'm slow rolling, brother.
Oh my god.
Door to nothingness.
That's so beautiful. He got the top 16 with a door deck.
Good guy Ali Antrazi bringing Door to Nothingness to a GP.
I want to give him a handshake.
I want to give him a hug. That's what I want to do.
Yeah,
Thank you for showing
it'd be weird for me.
Top 16ing with Door.
It's awesome for you to give a hug because you're fluffy and lovable. But for me to give him a hug, it'd be weird because I'm a weird, like, skinny guy.
True.
It would be more weird than anything, but that's fine. Anyway.
And
now that we're done,
and of course, it runs Rakdos Return and Sphinx's Revelation.
Yeah, this deck is awesome.
It's amazing.
And it only plays 2 Chromatic Lantern. What a lucky bastard.
Like, obviously he had other things that he wanted to play ahead of Chromatic Lantern.
Right. We are currently at 47 minutes in, so let's try to move on to the Legacy Open, because I think it's cool.
Legacy.
If I remember correctly, although we did miss last week's, the week before last, I predicted High Tide would take down Legacy, and it took down the week after that. Whatever.
Like that week, you predicted High Tide and Legacy. I predicted Aggro and Standard.
Yeah.
You also predicted Epic Experiment, which we never elaborated on.
Yeah, I'll elaborate on that later. Apparently, I can't get linked to the High Tide deck on the SCG site. But I take it it's just a standard High Tide deck with the standard things such as, 4 High Tides, some 4 Time Spirals, the usual draw suite, and various other things.
Yeah, I mean, I can't get it either, but obviously they're dealing with some bugs with the new site.
Yep, but that's fine. High Tide's awesome, and apparently she played it really quickly. I watched a couple rounds.
Oh man, like it was crazy. I've never seen other people play High Tide, but like just seeing people like talk about it in chat when they weren't being idiots.
Yeah.
And what the casters were talking about, like that's an amazing. Like she was playing it amazingly fast comparatively because most of the time people are worried about time when they're playing High Tide.
Right.
But she was like the way she counted the mana with when she had multiple High Tides. It was like. And she's like, she kind of like tapping lands each time, and I'm just like, woman, you have amazing math skills. Right.
And the thing is, she had the order of operations down correctly. Like, what I mean by that is, most High Tide players, like, they'll think about everything before doing things, but you can just autopilot the majority of the stuff that you have to do. For example, after a Time Spiral and you untap, first thing you do, play all High Tides in hand. Second thing you do, tap all lands you control. Third thing you do, play all Candelabras of Tawnos. Next, use all Candelabras of Tawnos. Then draw spells. Then go for another Time Spiral.
Or turnabout.
Right. That's basically the idea. That is your order of operations. And you can basically just autopilot the majority of everything until you get to a point where you actually like have to hit something off your draw spells. But that's the thing, that doesn't happen too often. The deck is very consistent.
And like in the final, she was playing against Junk, and like I think it was like turn 4, turn 5, whenever she started going off. He just sat there. It was a really good sport too.
Yeah, I liked. It was quite a while back, but there was a guy in a Legacy Open who he was facing a high tide deck, and he brought with him a little piece of cardboard with a computer key painted on it, and that computer key happened to be F6. So he took out the piece of cardboard, pushed F6, and just sat there, crossed his arms and sat there. No joke. It was amazing. I'll do my best to find that for the link dump, by the way.
Oh my god. That just made my night. Thank you.
Yeah, I really want to just bring that to like F&Ms and whatever, so if like somebody's doing something, just F6, done. But yeah, High Tide's a cool deck. It's an awesome combo deck. I actually want to go over the next deck that I like, the one that got third place. Allurin. This is a deck that I've always been just in love with. This deck is cool.
Yeah, he got pooped on by Junk, though.
That happens, though.
Yeah.
Like, you can't, if you're Allurin, you can't really beat Hand Disruption.
I'm just saying, he got pooped on by Junk.
Yeah. So this version is really awesome, though, because it plays Gitaxian Probes, Force of Will, Brainstorm, and then Intuition as its blue spells, as well as, obviously, the Dreamstalkers, Coiling Oracles, and Venser for more blue spells. So basically, it is an Allurin deck that plays Force of Will, and I don't think I've ever seen that. And this is, obviously, the Allurin combo, for those who don't know, is you play an Allurin, which is an enchantment, costs 4 mana. Any player may play a creature card with total casting cost 3 or less whenever he or she could play an instant without paying its mana cost. So basically, everything has flash and is free. So you start with that. Then you play Imperial Recruiter, which is the 3-drop, also free, obviously. When it comes to play, you search your library for a creature with power equal to 2 or less. Put it into your hand and then shuffle, obviously. And you search for the other 3 Imperial Recruiters in order. And then the last one fetches a Dreamstalker, which is a 2-mana, 1/5. When it comes into play, return a permanent you control to its owner's hand. Do that, return a Recruiter, play a Recruiter, find the second Dreamstalker. Play another Dreamstalker, return another Recruiter. Play a Recruiter. This gets insane. You get Cavern Harpy, right? Play Cavern Harpy, return, which is 2-mana, 2/1 flying. When it comes to play, return a blue or black creature you control to its owner's hand. Pay 1 life, return it to its owner's hand. So you play Cavern Harpy, returning Dreamstalker to your hand, right? Then you replay Dreamstalker, returning another Recruiter to hand. Play Recruiter again, get a Parasitic Strix, which is 3-mana, 2/2 flying. When it comes to play, if you control black permanent, target player loses 2 life, and you gain 2 life. So then you play that, drain them 2 because you have a Cavern Harpy, pay 1 life, return the Cavern Harpy to your hand, and loop the Harpy plus Strix.
Interesting.
And all of that comes from an Allurin and an Imperial Recruiter. And the reason that you have 2 Dreamstalkers and 4 Recruiters is to play around any sort of removal, such as Swords to Plowshares. And it works. And then you've got some Miser's cards, like 4 Coiling Oracles are really good in this deck, because it lets you ramp to Allurin faster if you're lucky, and if not, you're just drawing cards, which is good. You have your Cabal Therapies, which you can sack your Coiling Oracles for, or extra Recruiters for. It's a flashback to make sure that you can go off. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. And by the way, once Strix and Harpy are in your hand or in play, there's nothing your opponent can do to stop you. That is game. They cannot remove either in response. The only thing that does anything at all there are split-second spells. And that is it.
What counter spells countering some of the creatures?
That's why you have Force of Will.
Makes sense.
Yeah. This deck is awesome.
In the semis, it was Junk versus Allurin, High Tide versus Rug Delver. Rug Delver just fell over to High Tide.
Oh yeah, it did.
I was watching it, and like Rug Delver did nothing whatsoever. Like, he couldn't do anything.
I saw a bit of that match and was like, wow, that's a stomp. Let me just go play a different video game.
And then Junk then proceeded to push Alurin's proverbial shit in, and then High Tide avenged Alurin by just making Junk watch while things happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then Fireball.
Yeah. The thing about Alurin, by the way, for those whose brains are fried after me, going through that long explanation of how it works, it actually goes really fast. Like, if your opponent has seen Alurin work before, and you play Alurin and then play Recruiter and they've got nothing to do, they concede right there. And then even once you get to the end of the loop, it's pretty straightforward. You just, slam your Recruiters on the table, then get a Dreamstalker, and then, step by step go through the process of tutoring up Strix, basically. Harpy and Strix. And then once you've got Harpy and Strix, your opponent should just scoop because you have an infinite loop. But, yeah, the deck is cool. It's one of my pet decks. Unfortunately, Imperial Recruiter is retarded expensive. Otherwise, I would build this deck in a heartbeat. But it costs $350. No, $300 on Star City Games.
Imperial Recruiter?
Yep. The Chinese one is $300. The English one is $350.
How does that make sense?
Because Chinese is always cheaper. Chinese is cheap. But the deck is cool. I like combo, obviously.
Real men play combo.
Real men do play combo, and we've spent a lot of time on that deck, so I apologize. The rest of the top 8's not very exciting. At all.
Maverick, Bug, Still, Blue-White Miracle, Esper, Stoneblade, whatever.
Right. It's not very exciting. It's pretty usual. I am a huge fan of the top 4, though. Rug Delver, Junk, Alurin, High Tide. Specifically because High Tide won, so...
I like Junk. I think Junk looks really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think that color combination just looks really cool to me.
I agree. It's very cool. And this version specifically was very, it kind of harkened back to classic Junk deck where it's just hand disruption and solid creatures.
As the casters were saying, just a mono good stuff deck.
Yeah, Dark Confidant, card advantage, Deathrite Shaman, grind your opponent out. Knight of the Reliquary, it's Knight of the Reliquary, doesn't need an explanation.
Yeah.
Scavenging Ooze, same. Tarmogoyf, huge. Dryad Arbor for the Green Sun Zenith. Then you have a Garruk Relentless. Awesome. 2 Sensei Top, 2 Library for manipulation. 3 Abrupt Decay as removal, 4 Swords as removal, 3 Green Suns to fetch up whatever you need, 3 Inquisitions for hand disruption, 2 Maelstrom Pulses for more removal, and then 3 Thoughtseize. And then obviously land. But it's just nothing but good cards. And I like it.
Yeah, it's a pretty good deck.
Yeah. Sorry. I believe that's pretty much all we've got for right now.
Now, do we want to talk about EDH? Or should we wait until if Connor comes by?
I feel like we should talk about EDH, but then again, there's only 2 of us right now.
Yeah.
I want to talk about EDH once we have a lot of people,
Yeah.
Because, first of all, I really, even though Connor is being a butt and doesn't want to come on the podcast, I guess, ever, he did say to wait for him, to do the EDH cast, or at least, the EDH cast, not the Commander's Arsenal, the EDH cast. So we'll wait for him, I guess.
Yeah.
Be respectful. But other than that, I think we're good.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, I have an idea. Any predictions for this week?
With the success of Red-Black Aggro, the standard meta at the next GP, or at this GP, might be flooded a little bit like it was with Jund, when people were thinking, Jund's going to be good, and at the modern GPs,
mm-hmm.
and the Pro Tour and stuff. That'll happen, and then eventually someone will develop a deck that defeats Red-Black Aggro, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I think people play a lot of Red-Black Aggro. People will still play Bant. Hopefully, like, mono red makes a showing, like a decent showing.
The thing is, I doubt it. I wish it did, but I highly doubt it as long as the black-red deck exists.
Yeah, like...
It's basically got perfect mana, and, like, there's no reason to not include black, you know?
Yeah.
So, anyway. Actually, sorry, gonna quick little tangent. I was gonna explain the Epic Experiment thing. Which format was it, remember? Was it...
Modern?
No, it was standard. It was standard. Yeah, it was standard. Because I remember for Modern I predicted eggs, of course. And then Legacy I predicted High Tide. So yeah, it was standard. So standard Epic Experiment is a sweet deck that I saw... Who was it? Who was playing it? Celerity, I want to say. Celerity Gaming on Twitch. It was a 4 Goblin Electromancers, 4 Gutter Snipes, 4 Krenko's Command, Battle Hymns, Infernal Plunges, Epic Experiment, and then some burn spells, I believe, was the gist. So, it's awesome. Like, each Electromancer is another mana into an Epic Experiment. Also essentially adds 2 mana to Battle Hymn because it makes it 1 cheaper, and then adds an extra red because it's another creature. The Gutter Snipes are basically the way you win, and then you've got Krenko's Commands because it's more gobos.
No gobos to generate mana from the Battle Hymn and the Infernal Plunges.
Yep.
It's kind of like a standard Storm-ish kind of deal.
That's exactly what I was thinking. I actually tried to apply the things that you take from it to, like, a Modern or Pauper Storm deck, and I wish I could say I was successful. But I wasn't.
Not even a little bit.
I definitely tried, though, for, like, a long time. I got a good amount of half-decent decks, but nothing, like, playable.
Tends to happen.
Yeah. I do that a lot. But the deck is awesome. Celerity was actually doing pretty consistently well with it. Only issue was Thragtusks made it difficult to win, and because Thragtusk is such a huge player in the metagame right now, I doubt the deck will actually, do too well. But
that card, Thragtusk, such a poo.
I hope it gets banned. No joke.
Really
I hope it gets banned.
Like, that card is just disgustingly powerful for really not that much mana.
Right. And I'm really upset that I didn't cash in on Thragtusk when I had the chance. Because I was doing M13 pre-releases on Moto, and I had like 4 Thragtusks at one point, but then I sold them all at like 5 ticks each, and I believe they've gone up from that. I'll check.
Pretty sure they're like 20, at least.
Yeah.
20 to
probably.
30, something like that.
Let me check. They are 15 right now.
In
20
paper,
for
they're
a
26.
foil. Yeah. But I mean, I've always missed those opportunities.
Tends to happen.
But it's okay. I'm used to it.
We didn't miss that boat on shelling out your eggs stuff.
True. Or Zealous Conscripts in paper when I traded for 10 of them, expecting them to go up, and then they quadrupled in price. I'm pretty good at getting cards to quadruple in price, I guess.
Except Thragtusks.
Yeah, well, I didn't keep the Thragtusk, that's why. If I kept them, they would be 20. Anyway, my predictions, back to where we started with this conversation. My predictions for the next Standard Open, I'm going to actually say Epic Experiment yet again, because I love that deck.
It's not going to happen, and you know it.
It's going to happen.
Also,
yeah, I
just want to talk about Dragon's Maze, which was, they announced that's the name of Sinker in the third.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's called Dragon's Maze.
Dragon's Maze.
It's literally
God.
Literally the worst name ever.
No. This has some crazy implications, dude. Like, Dragon's Maze. Think about the dragons in Ravnica that are important. Now, think about what he would enjoy doing with his intellectual self.
Mazes.
I feel like the third set is going to be about Niv Mizzet. Something along the lines of wanting to take over Ravnica.
Part of me hopes not.
But dude, okay, we don't have a I always forget the name. I always say anarchist, but it's not anarchist. Antagonist, thank you.
It's the Eldrazi. That's what it was. The Eldrazi/Nephilim. It's always the Eldrazi.
That's what we thought, right? But I think because Niv Mizzet, he left for a while, right?
He didn't leave Ravnica. He went to the Ares in like the northern fringe of Ravnica.
Well, whatever. He like left the mainland. Like he left the Izzet. Like physically went away from them, right?
Yeah.
And then he suddenly came back with Jace with no real explanation, right? So I think that he has concocted a plan to abuse the intellect of Jace specifically, but perhaps more, to take over Ravnica.
Also, my prediction, hopefully Red-White Gideon will be a thing and will be good.
Well, Red-White Gideon is going to be a thing, first off. He does exist, and I do hope he will be good.
Hopefully he keeps like the zero ability where it turns into like a creature that doesn't like take damage or something.
That's unlikely if you ask me. But what I do think could happen is, alright, I'm just gonna make my full-on prediction right now, alright? So, here we go. Gideon, whatever his title is, I don't care. 5 mana. Planeswalker, of course. Starts with 6 loyalty. Maybe 5. I'm gonna say 6. 6 loyalty. Just like classic Gideon. And then he has a +1. Target creature you control gets double strike until end of turn.
Or poop butts.
Sure. I like that. Then he'll have a -3. -3. Untap all creatures who attack this turn. There's an extra combat phase after this one. And those creatures gain haste or whatever that text is for the extra attack.
You get another combat step, and then you can attack again.
Yep, as a -3. Alright, sounds insane, right? But I think it's going to happen. Maybe a -4. And then his ultimate, -8, so pretty early. I didn't actually think about this one, let me think. -8, Insurrection. Straight up Insurrection. Gain control of all creatures.
Wow.
Until after, of course. But that's my prediction.
Wow. That's pretty ballsy there.
It is, right? Do you have any ideas about it? Any ideas from what I said, or what?
I don't think +1 is gonna be gains X trigger ability or whatever. I think that might be the minus ability. I think the ult will be untap everything, have another combat step.
Oh, wait a second. I just had an idea. I just had a genius idea. Alright, so hear me out now. Instead of a +1, he'll have a +X. Where target creature gets... Let's think. Yeah, target creature gets +X until end of turn, where X is its power. Gideon deals X damage to you. So, basically, if you have a 5/5, Gideon will get +5. The creature will become a 10/10, and you'll take 5.
Could be.
And then his ultimate's going to be something ridiculously out of reach, like a +20 or something.
I think he's definitely going to be I don't think he's going to cost that much. I think he's going to be an aggro planeswalker because he's red-white. Personally.
That's the thing. Boros has never really been, like... I mean, the guild, not necessarily the color combination, but, like, Boros isn't really aggro. It's just, like, consistent beatdowns. I don't know.
I mean, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's going to be like a 4-drop planeswalker.
I could see 4-drop.
Maybe 4 or 5. I don't think he's going to be like a 6-drop.
Although, actually, it would have to say not deals X damage to you, because then you could redirect it to Gideon and just basically have a 0 pump a creature. but something along those lines. So, in some way, you lose life, without it saying you lose life, because losing life is not very red. But yeah, I can see a 4-mana walker.
Deals X damage to you, damage cannot be redirected or prevented.
Sure, that seems good.
Oh, predictions for the for maybe some of the charms.
Ooh. Yeah, I forgot about the charms.
So we got Simic Charm, we got
Finnick, Orzhov, Gruul, Boros, and Dimir. So, do you have any thoughts? Because I haven't even thought about this a little bit.
Simic might be like half of Stifle / Unsummon / like destroy either artifact or enchantment. Like one of the two, not both.
Right.
Something like that. Or Jav might be, say, there's a one white thing that would be.
Yeah, I don't know. Orzhov is going to be the most difficult, I think.
Yeah.
Because I can't really think of much that, like, is iconically white or black that would be good enough to be on the charm.
Maybe like minus, like discard a card, discards a card.
Sure, that could be one of them,
and then,
which seems mediocre, but yeah.
Yeah, and then Gruul might be like, what would Gruul be for that matter?
All right, I'm gonna take a stab at these. I think Simic is gonna be. I agree with your Stifle idea. There's gonna be one of the abilities is straight up going to be Stifle, counter target, activated or triggered ability.
It's gonna be one or the other because I don't think they have an or an or inside the or.
They can. They've done it with other charms.
They have?
Yeah, like old charms.
Oh.
Like the Elder Dragon charms or whatever.
Never mind then.
Yeah, I think one of the abilities is Stifle. I think another ability is going to be, I guess it could be Unsummon, but I think the one that I would like the most is third ability is going to be put 2 or distribute 2 or 3 +1/+1 encounters as you choose among creatures you control. I don't know which one would be more balanced.
Might be 1 because like Hunger of the Howl Pack because a 1 mana put a +1/+1 counter on something.
Right, but that's just bad. Like that's just really poo. You don't want that to be what you choose, you know? And that would just, if you think about it, that would just be poo.
Yeah.
I think it should be 2.
It might be, but I think 2 for... It could be. I don't know.
It'd be 2 for 2 mana, which is pretty fair.
True.
Okay. Next, I think, Orzhov. One of them is definitely going to be Disentomb. One of them's Disentomb. Another one might be Duress. And then the third one might be, like, Gain 4 or something.
Yeah. Or a Drain, like Drain 1, Drain 2.
Sure. I can see that.
Gruul.
Gruul would be... Gruul would be... Wow. I think one of them would be creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn.
Yeah.
Or +2/+0.
Something like that.
+1.
Something like that. It's like a battle cry effect.
I think there should be a Pyroclasm effect as well. Like, not actually 2 damage, but 1 damage to each thing.
Yeah.
And then... third effect... I don't even know, dude.
That could be destroyed to, like, enchantment. Or destroyed, like...
No. Because, well, they already did both artifact and enchantment. That's why I think those aren't going to appear anymore. I got it. The Gruul one will be instant, right?
Yeah.
And one of the effects will be search your library for a basic land card and put it into your hand.
To go with our idea of a keyword, yeah.
Yeah. And instant speed, that's actually not awful, so meh. I think I'm okay with that.
Boros.
Boros should be pretty straightforward. One of them should definitely be the reckless charge effect, so plus something, plus 0 haste.
Mm-hmm.
Then another one should be some sort of removal spell.
Like,
oh my god.
Like a smaller lightning helix?
Yeah, can one of them be a 2 damage helix? I think that'd be sweet. 2 damage helix.
Could be pretty fair, yeah. Could be 2 damage,
and then,
you gain 1 to make it a little more fair.
Maybe. And then third effect, condemn, maybe. I like a condemn effect.
Yeah. Or oust.
Oust could work too, yeah. I think condemn is a little more Boros, though, to be fair.
Yeah. Now, Dimir.
Dimir.
Our creatures are blockable.
Sure. I want Dimir to keep milling, though. I like milling.
Your opponent mills
Tome
3.
Scour. How about just straight up Tome Scour? Mill 5 is fine.
Mill 5, yeah. Mill 5 or 2, yeah, it's pretty good. And then draw something. Could be a 2-mana cantrip, like could be Preordain.
Well, they already have the Azorius charm. One of the effects is just straight up draw a card.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm just snowballing here. I mean,
I think what would make more sense would be like a Raven's Crime. Just target player discards a card. Except it's instant, so it'd actually be pretty good.
Yeah.
So like a Funeral Charm even. Harken back to the Funeral Charm. Or Piracy Charm if you prefer. Actually, discard a card is definitely going to be one of the effects.
Yeah.
Because both Funeral Charm and Piracy Charm are in those 2 colors. And their key ability is the instant speed discard 1 card.
Yeah. That's definitely a thing. I think unblockable will be a thing. And then mill. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like mill 3 or mill 5. Could be mill 4, who knows?
I think 5 is actually pretty fair, so I like 5. Anyway though, we've been running a little bit long, rambling a bit at the end there, but that's fine. I guess that's pretty much all we have this week.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else, so I think we're done.
Yeah. If you guys have any questions, any suggestions, anything you want to bring up, leave it in the comments or email or tweet.
You can email us at affinitypodcast at yahoo.com.
Oh, no. It's
Affinity for Homarid, rather. I'm sorry. Affinity for Homarid, no S. Affinity for Homarid at yahoo.com. You can tweet the podcast on Twitter at Affinity Podcast. You can tweet me at Twitter at SMUGFAEC.
And then you can tweet at me at UberGooseUS for my stuff. That's what, yeah.
Yeah. I believe that just about covers it. Or as he said, you could leave a comment in the comment section below this video when it goes up. So
that's pretty much all we got. And I hope you guys enjoyed. And hopefully, I don't want to jinx anything, but hopefully our next podcast will be, obviously, next Friday is when we're going to record. And hopefully Connor can join us and we can talk about EDH finally.
And hopefully it'll be more than just you and me.
Right. I think Nolan will be good for it, though. I'm not sure why he couldn't tonight. He just never responded, but I'll talk to him about it. Anyway,
alrighty.
Thanks for listening, guys.
See you guys next time. Same Homarid time, same Homarid place.
Yeah, see ya.